Hi, and welcome to One Simple Recipe, where we're hoping to get you one step closer to better health. It's good to be back. I'm Judy Matuski with Athens Nutrition. I'm a registered dietitian and a culinary nutritionist, and it's good to be back. I took a little bit of a hiatus there for August, did a little bit of traveling, now back, and happy to be back cooking, back in my kitchen. So today I'm bringing you a recipe that is so easy, but so delicious. I actually, when I first made it, I thought, oh, it's not going to be that great. But I served it to so many different people, and they all said, this is pretty amazing. It's a cauliflower rice sushi bowl, sushi in parentheses. So let's talk a little bit about how to do it. This was brought to my attention by Jules Clancy, who has her a website called The Stone Soup, and she focuses a lot on very simple 3+ ingredient recipes. And I do love a lot of what she does, so I wanted to share this one with you. I did make a few adaptations, as I always do, but anyway, I think you're going to really love it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. What are we using? The main thing, and I'm going to bring my pan back on here so I keep it hot. The main thing is cauliflower rice. Now, you can use broccoli rice. You can use a combination of cauliflower and broccoli rice. Frozen cauliflower rice, though, has been my new go-to. It's just one of those things that's so great to have in your freezer because it cooks really quickly, and it's a stand-in for rice. So this, over the next several months, because our practice focuses really on helping adults, men and women 50+ with their nutrition plans and nutrition goals, we're going to be really focusing on nutrients and foods that we want to bring into the diet as we certainly get a little bit older, as well as foods and nutrients we might want to not have in as often. So we're going to talk about why some of these things are important for all of us, certainly over 50. And the first is this cauliflower rice. It's amazing. You're going to go from frozen. That's what's amazing about this. So this is a 10-ounce package. Now, this one I picked up at Trader Joe's because I was at Trader Joe's and I picked a lot of these ingredients up when I was there. But typically I would just buy like the Bird's Eye or whatever frozen cauliflower rice you have in your supermarket. They're normally 10 ounces, and that's probably a little bit better for this if you're going to serve. This is actually meant to, I'm making this recipe to serve one. And that's what's really interesting, I think, about the recommendation on my end here is for, again, all of us over 50, we need more veggies in our diet. Most people don't get enough. Cruciferous vegetables like cauliflower are something that should show up in our diet, if not daily, at least every other day. So important for reducing risk for cancer. So this cauliflower rice is our stand-in. It lowers the carbohydrate footprint of this recipe. And most of my clients are really working on trying to manage their blood sugar. They want to get it down. It's not at that diabetes point yet, but it's getting close. So this is a great way to bring your total carbohydrate down at a meal. And it's because we're not going to necessarily use rice, but we could talk about how you can add that. All right, so this goes in frozen, and I've just got the heat up here, and this, really all we're doing is just defrosting the cauliflower rice. That's it. We're not seasoning it. I didn't add any oil at all to this pan. Totally not necessary. All we're doing is using the heat of the pan to just defrost this rice. And you're going to be shocked at how simple this is, and if you try it, and I certainly hope you do, I think you're going to be surprised again how delicious the flavors all come together. All right, I'm going to let this go for a little bit because that was a fair amount. That was a little bit larger of a container package, but I just didn't have a smaller one. So this really is going to serve one person. You're going to use all of this. The package, frozen cauliflower rice, when you read the package, it says it's supposed to serve 3. Ignore it. Ignore it. This is one time when you want to eat everything in the package. So if you're using just a 10-ounce, that's your serving, because this is really, we want the volume, we want all those vegetables. We're not necessarily using rice right now, so we need that extra volume to help with fullness and satiety, and it's just a fantastic way to get 3 servings of vegetables in one meal. All right, so this is going to cook away now. What we're going to do is I'm going to make a quick little sauce. So we're using half mayonnaise, half yogurt, and I often like to do that just to lighten up the creamy sauce. So it's not, typically it's all mayonnaise, but we're going to use about a tablespoon of mayo, and then we're going to use equal parts Greek plain fat-free, non-fat Greek yogurt, because we're picking up the fat from the mayonnaise. We don't need it in the yogurt. and about equal parts. So, you know, a tablespoon or so of the mayonnaise and a tablespoon of the yogurt. And now I'm going to use about a teaspoon of hot sauce. This is Sriracha, your hot sauce of choice. You can make it hotter if you want to, add more. But this is going to be our little drizzle that we're going to put over top of the bowl. Now, this is enough for two. You don't need to use all of this if you're only making this for one serving. I always make extra because I just love it drizzled on all kinds of things, but it's really good drizzled on eggs. But anyway, so we're just mixing that around just to break up the yogurt, the little clumps of yogurt that's in here in the mayo. All right, so we're going to sit that off to the side. But if you want to double this sauce, this is really good. Just mayo, yogurt, and Sriracha. It's just really a nice little sauce to have on hand. If you had some poached chicken, or you have fish, or you have eggs, or you know vegetables, you can use it as a nice little sauce. Okay, so the cauliflower rice is cooking away here. We're just defrosting it. We're not really trying to brown it. No need to add oil to this at all. The moisture of the cauliflower is going to keep things from sticking, and we're not really worrying too much about that anyway. All right, this is looking really good. This is pretty much defrosted. I'm going to turn it down. All right, so we have the sauce. Now, the protein component of this is going to be tinned fish. So this is such a great recipe because it's very pantry friendly, and these are things you can have all around in your freezer or in your pantry. So I'm using, again, I feel like I'm plugging Trader Joe's, but I'm using this smoked trout from Trader Joe's. Absolutely amazing. It's one of my favorite tinned fish. And if you're not sure about tinned fish, but you do like fish, I would highly recommend this one. It's not too smoky, just has a beautiful texture to me and a really nice flavor, and not too fishy. So we're going to use the entire container for one serving because, again, this is our protein portion to this. And I wanted to look at the back of this to see if you eat the whole can, you're picking up at 20 grams of protein. So that's like 3 ounces, which is amazing. That's a really good protein amount for most of us to have at our meals. A little more would be fine, but that's great. All right. So now all we're doing, and if you don't have smoked trout, any tinned fish will do. I have some smoked sardines, or you can get grilled sardines. This is just some smoked salmon. You could just use regular like canned salmon. You could use tuna fish. If you want to really keep it pantry friendly, those are the kind of mix and match fishes that you could use for this. If you have leftover salmon though that you've cooked, by all means put that on. We're trying to keep this simple, so we're not really actually cooking our fish to put on this. The whole point of this is to be able to pull this together so quickly. All right, so we have the cauliflower rice. Let's go ahead and just add that to the bowl. This is even a lot for me. I may not use all of this, but the idea here is you want a lot of vegetables at the base of this bowl, a lot, not just not the serving size. You fill up this bowl. Actually, just put them all in. All right. They'll work. All right, so that's the base. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to take your tinned fish, and this is just we're going to flake this right on top. Any tinned fish that you want. This is great. I love tinned fish because it's not only is it so user friendly, but it's just so full of omega-3 fatty acids too. We all need more of those in our diet as well. All right, so we put this off to the side. Now, you're going to take your little sauce that we made, which is the yogurt, mayo, and Sriracha, and then you're just kind of just sort of drizzle it on top. Now, I do love making this with the broccoli cauliflower rice because you get a little more color because you'll pick up the green flecks in the with the broccoli, or you could just do all broccoli if you want this to be a little more colorful. So I'm using about half of the sauce. And then the final ingredient is Furikake. So Furikake is a Japanese seasoning blend, which is, if you don't have it, grab it when you see it. Again, Trader Joe's, but I just happened to be there and I grabbed all these things at the same time. But we have a Japanese market here in Ardmore, Maida, which also carries it. I really like this one though because it's pretty straightforward. It's just sesame seeds, seaweed, and a little bit of salt. I picked up one from Maida, which is a Japanese brand, and this one just has a lot of extra ingredients that I don't think are really necessary. It's added some sugar and then I added some maltodextrin, and it's just, I don't know why, more for probably just preservative factor, but this one's just straightforward. There's none of that extra added, so I kind of like this. So then we're going to take about a teaspoon of this and about a tablespoon and sprinkle this on top. And then if you want to, we could just take a little bit more, and I want to, because I'm just going to do a little bit more heat on this, then just a little bit of extra Sriracha. And that is it. Well, I'll add one more thing, but there's the sushi bowl, all right? And lots of, again, if you want to do the broccoli rice, that's great, or the broccoli rice, that would be awesome. If I had some scallions, I'd probably sprinkle those on top, but it's good just as is. The other thing you could do is if you happen to have nori sheets, seaweed sheets, or if you have like the little seaweed snack packs, they're kind of nice to have around. What you could do then is take the nori sheets, right, and just maybe, have them in little squares, and then you could take your cauliflower rice and your smoked salmon and your Furikake seasoning and the Sriracha, and you could just make little like sushi rolls almost with it, and then just kind of eat this almost like a little sandwich if you wanted to. So I typically just eat it straight from the bowl, but that's kind of a cute idea if you wanted to do that as well. All right, sushi bowls. Cauliflower rice is helping to lower the carbohydrate footprint, which is important for, again, a lot of my clients with your, managing blood sugar. If you want to make this a little bit more carb friendly, that's great. You can add some brown rice, frozen brown rice, fabulous. Keep it in your freezer. You would just saute that up at the same time that you're sauteing the cauliflower rice, and then it would kind of be a little half and half if you wanted to add a little bit more substance to this. But I think this just makes a really nice breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and it comes together so quickly. Now I talked a lot, so it seemed like a little longer, but honestly you could probably do this in 5 minutes, literally, no longer than that. All right, stay tuned. We're going to bring you a lot more 6 or less ingredient kind of bowls and different ideas to incorporate these meals into your eating plan pretty simply, and we're going to be focusing on a lot of nutrients that are very important for all of us 50 plus, and then talk a little bit about ones we might want to lower in our eating plan. All right, stay well till next week. I'll be anxious to get back with you again. Take care.